What is up, guys? Zaid here, and today for your another Dueling Book replay. Today I was playing ranked a little bit ago, and I just played against this guy, DJ Tiny Toons, playing a Paleozoic frog deck versus my Dogmatika Altergeist creation. Shout out my buddy Trenton. He was playing a deck like this at locals. I don't know his exact list, but I like the concept, so I threw it together, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So my opponent opens, and they're going first. He opened with Swap Frog, Strike, Mystic Mind, Judgment, and Trap Trick. I'm going second and opened with Dogmatika, Fleur de Lis, a Multi-Faker, Spoofing, Nadir's Servant, and Meliseek. They're going to start off with Summon Swap Frog. Swap Frog effect is going to dump a Ronin Totem. And he's just going to bounce the Swap Frog, set 3, pass. For my turn, I drew an Ash, which honestly, if I had the Ash in my opening 5, I don't even know if it's like correct to hit a Swap Frog or not. Because if they just return it, pitch a card, summon, dump Ronin, then like the play's still live. So this Ash kind of sucks in this matchup, I feel like, except against draw spells. But that's like the only application the card has. I'm going to activate Nadir's Servant. He's going to let it go through. We're going to send a Natis to add the Dogmatika Ecclesia. And then I'm going to roll a die to see what I want to hit. Let RNG take it away. I hit zone 5 on my side. And I hit a Trap Trick, which he opted not to chain. So he just, I guess, has a lot of faith in the Strike Judgment. Card economy wise, if he would have chained this, I would have literally done nothing with my Natis. But so he would have went not really +1, but he wouldn't have neg-1'd. But he would have been only able to activate 1 trap. So I don't really know in hindsight if this was a very powerful play or not. Kind of depends on what traps he plays in his deck. It's water time. I wonder if I'll edit out my water sips or not. Probably that one because I'm talking about it right now, and that's kind of weird. I don't know. But I summon Meliseek. We're going to swing in, attempting to get rid of another back row. He takes the 5. I activate the effect, and he's going to strike it, which Meliseek did its job. But I think that it was decent for him to strike it, because if he didn't, and he let me activate, or let me resolve the effect getting rid of 1, then I could have Link summoned into the Link Karibo and then specialed out my Ecclesia. I'm still going to get a Meliseek effect, though, so Meliseek took out a back row and replaces itself for free. We're going to grab Multi-Faker, even though we have a copy of Multi-Faker. My reasoning is that if I set Spoofing, flip it, I want to be able to activate it, shuffling back a Multi-Faker. So if my opponent had an Ash, they would be like, yo, this is the best time to Ash. I know he won't have a Multi-Faker after, but I would have a Multi-Faker whose effect would then resolve to summon Silk. I don't know if there would have been a better card to add, but I feel like it's the best way to try to bait the Ash with the Spoofing. So I set Spoofing pass, standby phase, activate, shuffling Faker. As we see, though, he does not have a, what's it called? He does not have an Ash, so it doesn't matter. I get a Concurry out, activate Multi-Faker effect, special summon itself. And then Multi-Faker effect is going to get me a Silk. Boom. So then he accidentally banishes 1. He's going to activate Mystic Mind, which, like, this card is crazy and all, but when there's a personal spoofing on field, Mystic Mind does, like, nothing. It does protect him here from my Ash, but, like, that's not that impressive. He's going to summon Swap Frog. He's going to get the effect to dump. And then he's going to activate the card of Demise, which, like, he could have had a Toad instead, and it's kind of hard to tell, like, which one is even better to have. So, card of Demise has to resolve. There's no way for me to really respond to it. And he didn't draw too optimally. He gets a Lost Win, a Demise of the Land, and a Ronin Totem. So, he's going to set his 2. He's going to enter the end phase, I believe, discarding Ronin Totem and passing the turn to me. I'm going to activate my Spoofing. We're going to shuffle back. Ooh, bump my table. We're going to shuffle back Silcoitus. Is that how you pronounce that card? I don't know. But I'm going to shuffle it back, search a Meliseek. Good old Multi-Faker goes to attack position, hits over the Swap Frog, because we both have one monster I am able to attack. I technically could have let the mine die there, but I want to keep the mine up on his turn so that he's stunned out for one turn. So I go here in the standby, or on the end phase actually, because he didn't attempt to play anything. On the end phase, I spoofing, put my guy back, search a Marionetter out, and then his Mystic Mine is going to die. And then I draw for turn, drawing a Prosperity. Summon the Marionetter I just searched. Marionetter is going to attempt to get me a trap, which resolves, and I grab Protocol. Then I'm going to use its effect to special out Meliseek. Da-da-da-da-da. And this gets met by the demise of the land, which, again, as we just saw, I don't give a fuck about Mystic Mine. Meliseek technically did its job by outing a back row because it coming out prevented him from, or not prevented, but caused him to activate the mine. Now I'm going to get the shuffle back, grab a Multi-Faker. Then I'm going to activate the Prosperity. What did I banish? Banishing a Construct, a Selene, and a Relinquished Anima. So, I don't know if you guys see it during the match, but the Spice, the reason we play the Construct is because I'm playing one Schism in the deck. Because if you can summon a window, that seems insane. Also, it's really cool to be able to activate Nadir's Servant and send something that can get you a trap card. Even though your Ecclesia can technically get you a trap card, just having the versatility, like, to send the... I can't view my extra deck, can I? Nah, but to send the, I forget its name. Apcalone? I think it's Apcalone. The Shadal that search a Schism then discards a card. Being able to do that and then also then summon out Ecclesia, search, just like really good. Because then if they have an out to the Ecclesia, you still have a trap card from Multi-Faker. Plus, Winda is like a hell of a card. But anyways, I banish 3. We're going to look at 3. He keeps giving me thumbs up. We're going to send Prosperity, Torrential, and Meliseek. I think I take Torrential. Yeah, Torrential is crazy. Prosperity, Meliseek, go back to deck. Set the Torrential. End phase, his mine dies. And so, his Mystic Mines have been stalling the game. Like, he hasn't died because of them. But look at the card advantage. It's literally 10 cards to 4. Because spoofing is replacing itself when it puts a card back, while still clearing my board so that I can get rid of his Mystic Mine. This card almost makes me want to consider playing a build that plays Mystic Mine, just because you can like place your monsters, get value, and then remove your monsters so your opponent has no counterplay. But anyways, Ronin Tonin effect is going to activate, summoning out a Ronin. And here, I was even thinking this during the game. I have 2 Torrentials. I think it would have been optimal, possibly, to Torrential right here. Because he's going to summon a second Ronin, and that's when I decided to Torrential. But he has a Judgment. And because he Judgments, I don't have a window for my second Torrential. So if I use the first Torrential here, he has a dupe, he has a live Ronin. So he'd probably let the first Torrential resolve, and then he would summon Ronin, summon dupe, I'd Torrential again, and I'd get met with a Judgment there, and I think it would have the same outcome actually. But that's not what I do. I wait for the second Ronin to come out, I Torrential here, and it gets Judgmented. So then he makes Toad, and I Torrential that. You might be thinking, why do you want to give him your Torrential? And you'll see why in a moment. He goes to attack for 22, but I'm like, nah, son. Main phase still. Summon out Fleur-de-Lis. So now he's not going to get to do any damage. And then he goes to end turn. I activate Protocol, which is going to summon out the Multi-Faker by Multi-Faker's effect. Then Multi-Faker is going to proc. He tries to Toad, but I'm like, bro, you just toaded. What are you talking about? And he scoops. But the intention there, and why I think he scooped, was because a Multi-Faker was going to resolve, summoning the Silcoitus. And then I was going to be able to go Silcoitus effect, bounce Multi-Faker, bounce my own Torrential back to hand. So I was going to go like plus Ultra during that play. And then on my following turn, he's going to go activate the effect of Toad to try to summon a dupe. I'd negate it with Protocol. And then he'd attempt to negate Protocol probably, which gets rid of the Toad then. And then I just like crack into his cards and get infinite advantage with all the Altergeists I had in hand. But we're going to see a game 2. Just like game 1, he'll be going first. Altergeist weirdly isn't that bad going second. I only play 6 hand traps, 3 imperm, 3 ash. But a lot of your trap cards are good going second. Like Torrential Tribute, Strike are fine cards going second. Also, the Meloseek is really good for clearing boards. And then Nadir's Servant helps you clear boards too. So it's just like a really decent deck going second, surprisingly. This game's a little rough. He opens Inspector Border, Dupe Frog, the MST, I don't know how to pronounce that, Strike, and a Scapegoat. And he just normal summons Border passes. Well, normal Border set 3 pass. I open Servant, Ash, Order, Prosperity, Torrential. So we draw for turn, getting a Meloseek. I summon the Meloseek, link away into a Armades, the Magius Moon Maiden. And then he lets that go through. I activate Prosperity, trying to bait like an Ash or a Negate here if he had one, which he did not. I'm going to mill my 3. We're going to get Nadir's Servant, Protocol, and a Spoofing. And I decide to go for the Servant. Water break. Whoo. Shuffle Spoofing and Protocol back to deck. Then I'm going to activate the Servant. We're going to send a Tis and search out Ecclesia. This is what my intention was. If you noticed, I didn't use Meloseek. With Border, you only get 1 effect. So I was trying to get access to my Natis, which I did, but he has the Strike to counter Natis, which is not the end of the world for us, though. Natis did its job in removing a card. It just wasn't the card that's stopping us from playing the game. But we still have access to a Torrential to try to out it. So we're going to set Torrential, set Order, pass. And here we get really lucky on the 50-50. Anoilatilis could have hit Torrential, and I would have been in a really bad position. But he didn't. Let's go, RNG, baby. He draws Lost Wind, which this card is kind of cool, but I don't really think it matters that much. I'm a lot more afraid of a lot other cards. I guess in the Paleo deck it's not bad because it replaces itself. You use it twice and then you get to summon Paleos twice. Whew. So he punches into my guy. I take 1200. He's going to set a Lost Wind. Passes over to me. I draw Prosperity. Activate Prosperity, banishing 3. What did I banish this time? I banished a Hexia, a Phoenix, and the access code. And we're going to reveal Multifaker, Manifestation, and Pot. Reason I go for Manifestation here is because I don't know what he has, right? And I need a way to outborder. I can maybe outborder with the Torrential here, but if he has a response, I need a follow-up. And Manifestation I can set. On his end phase, I can use it to reborn Meloseek. And then on my following turn, I can link away Meloseek for Link Karibo. Not trigger Meloseek, probably. And then I have access to 1 monster effect. Would I trigger Meloseek? Maybe I do trigger Meloseek. That way I can search a, what's it called? Multi-Faker. And then if I have a trap card on the next turn, I'll be able to summon the Multi-Faker because I have a guy. But also, maybe that's not right. I'm not exactly sure if this card outs Border by itself, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But that was my thought process when I grabbed it, was that it could potentially out this card for me. And I'm going to summon out Ecclesia then. Activating Ecclesia. Oh, not activating Ecclesia, I can't. But I'm going to Torrential my own summon. And then I'm going to out his Border, luckily. And then we're going to set the Manifestation pass. And this, I have not had Scapegoat resolved on me in so long, aside from playing GOAT format. And I did not know what to expect with this. But you're about to see what he does with it. I feel like there's maybe more that could have been done. He goes summon Link Spider, summon Link Karibo and a token into Phoenix. Phoenix effect target my back row, and I'm going to chain Ash to protect it. Thank God it was co-linked so I could Ash it. Can you Ash this card if it's not co-linked? I'm not actually sure how that works. But if you can, I would have done it anyways, hopefully. If you can't, then thank God it was co-linked. But he's then going to use Link Karibo's effect, Tribute to Special, and then link all these away into an Avermax, which This card has not been summoned on me in like a million years either. This card, if you don't know what it does, oh, yo, I did not even realize he cheated me here. 2+ monster special summon from the extra deck. This was special from the graveyard. Damn. I mean, I'm sure he probably had something in his extra deck like a unicorn or something to go into to make it anyways. So it was probably like a soft cheat. Like he didn't do that shit on purpose. I guess we'll call it a misplay then. But when this card's link summoned, when this link summon card's on the field, he can't be targeted by card effects, and or also their monsters can't target it with attack. I cannot fucking read. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. During the battle, if he battles a special summon monster, make this card gain attack equal to that monster during damage calc. And then if this card's sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, shuffle a card on the field into the deck. So this card is like not that great in terms of meta decks, but it's pretty decent against this strategy that I'm playing. He's going to go swing in for 3k, and then I'm going to activate Manifestation on the end phase, bringing out my Meliseek. I'm going to draw a Torrential for turn. Battle phase, swing with Meliseek. He's going to Lost Wind it, and then summon out a trap card. Main 2, I'm going to link it away, summoning Link Haribo. And then he's going to set his Lost Wind back. Then Meliseek is going to trigger to search Multi-Faker. Then I'm going to activate Nadir's Servant. This card is like really cool. You're about to see one of the other things you can do with this deck. Send Totally Awesome to get your search, which is going to add Ecclesia back from grave. And then Toad can grab the Meliseek from graveyard. So this has like weirdly a lot of synergy with the Altergeist deck. Because the Dogmatika Ecclesia gets you a trap card, which allows you to proc your Multi-Faker. Servant can recycle your Meliseek. And then I was talking about the Winda combo earlier, where you can send Epcalone and you could search Shaddoll Schism. And Multi-Faker's a dark, so there's that also. I've been thinking about playing other attribute Shaddolls too, because like Meliseek's a water, the Dogmatika engine's lights, which we do play Construct, but I think this deck also has wind and earth. So it has a lot of attributes available, and Schism has a second effect that after you resolve the summon, you can send a monster of that type from the field to the graveyard. And that could like actually come up a decent amount, where say against Tri-Brigade, they summon out Kit or Nerval or something, and you summon out a fusion, send the guy they have to the graveyard, then they just can't play. And not always is it live to make a Winda too. You need to resolve Epcalone to add and then send, but you also have to have a Shaddoll Construct engrave or a Dark in order to make the Winda. So you're not always guaranteed to resolve it, so it might be cool to have other names. Back to what the heck I was doing though. I'm going to I'm going to activate Ecclesia to special itself out. Ecclesia is going to grab me a punishment. And then we're going to set Torrential, set punishment, pass. He draws Duster. He's going to go battle phase, attack into Link Haribo. I'm going to use Link Haribo's effect. And then he's going to normal dupe. And here we flip the Torrential. And I believe he scoops right after this. But I think this is a really cool play to point out for people that might not know it. Dupe Frog is a when effect. So this card misses timing if it's sent to grave as Chainlink 2 or higher. So when I activate Torrential here, my intention was for him to go, all right, that's fine. I know that this is not a judgment, so I know my play is going to resolve. And I was going to chain punishment, sending a card from extra deck to send Dupe Frog to grave. So then Dupe Frog goes Chainlink 2, Torrential resolves Chainlink 1, destroying the board. And then I'm going to have nothing on field for Avermax to shuffle. I'm going to have sent something to get me value. I don't even know what it would be. And then Dupe Frog's not going to search, and Multi-Faker's going to come out. So this was kind of like point of no return for this dude. He would have been able to Lost Win my Multi-Faker, but all he has is Heavy Storm Duster, and I have the Meliseek in hand. So next turn I would just like summon Meliseek, attack. Meliseek would send the Storm Duster, and then I could link the Multi-Faker and the Meliseek into anything, get Meliseek's effect to search, and then continue to play from there. Not really continue to play. My deck doesn't have like a combo after that. I would just have more cards than him. And so yeah, you're going to see this guy scoop him up. He draws to see what he would have had. he scoops a duel up. I've got a couple more games that I'm going to record commentaries over with this deck. So look forward to those if you enjoy the deck. Again, shout out my buddy Trenton. He played this deck at Locals. We played each other, and I really like the idea. So thank you for the inspiration. Anything else I got to say? Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Also, if you want a deck profile, let me know. This deck is like still in the workshop a little bit. But if you guys have played something similar, let me know like what your decks look like. We can talk about the shit. Zaid Boy on Dueling Book, by the way. So if you want to play test or just talk Yu-Gi-Oh, hit me up. Yep, that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching.